Connecting to the universe.
From the top of Mount Wack.
Live with no pants.
Here's Zack Da Wack.
Wake up to the refreshing difference. Brisk and bracing, fresher tasting.
Greetings, my excellent friends. It's I, the always dapper podcast babbler, your daddy-o blog from the radio, and the monkey on the mic, here running that semi-professionally trained tongue of mine. I am Zachary Ernesto Wackalina III, otherwise known as Zack Da Wack. Good morning, beautiful people. How you doing? Welcome to those of you from Shelton, Nebraska, to Newellton, Louisiana, Smithfield, Utah, to Prescott, Arkansas, and all around the world. This is the often secluded, never diluted, always wacky, never tacky, hot rockin', flame-throwing DaWack in the morning show. Live from the low-rent, sleazy, and measly Ram and Jam and Nut Hut studios at the DaWack Shack Broadcast Megaplex at Peachtree Industrial on the outskirts of Atlanta, Georgia, here in FEMA Region Number 4. Live out of Studio A today. Last time I checked, it's Friday, May the 15th, 2026. We got this day in history, this day in music, fun facts, the horrible scope, stupid news, and a celebrity birthday list.
Thank God it's Friday. Thank God it's Friday. It's Friday. It's Friday. Oh, work sucks.
Let's check out the holidays. It is National Chocolate Chip Day. My favorite. A day to honor the tiny chocolate morsels that look at cookies, pancakes, muffins, ice cream, and trail mix and said, "You're welcome."
Chocolate chips are basically edible confetti for people who gave up pretending fruit was a dessert.
It's National Pizza Party Day. I'm on board. Finally, a holiday that sounds like it was planned by a 5th grade class with a budget surplus. Pizza Party Day is where adults pretend they're too mature for this.
Then fight over the quarter sliced like animals in khakis.
It's Bring Flowers to Someone Day, a day to bring somebody flowers and immediately look thoughtful, romantic, or suspicious, depending on what you did yesterday.
Flowers say I care. I'm sorry, or please don't ask follow-up questions.
It's Peace Officers Memorial Day, a solemn day to honor law enforcement officers who lost their lives in the line of duty. This one gets a respectful pause.
Service, sacrifice, and families who carry that loss long after the headlines move on.
It's Endangered Species Day, a day to recognize endangered animals and the work being done to protect them.
Basically, nature is saying, hey humans, could you maybe stop turning the planet into a group project run by toddlers?
It's International Day of Families, a day celebrating families in all their forms. The people who love you, support you, and still somehow bring up embarrassing stories from 1997 at dinner.
Where the love is real, the advice is unsolicited, and somebody is always mad about the thermostat.
It's National NASCAR Day, a day for racing fans, speed, engines, left turns, and people who can identify a driver by the sound of a car passing at 190 miles an hour.
NASCAR fans don't watch traffic. They watch traffic with sponsors, strategy, and snack breaks.
It's National Work From Home Day. You're welcome. A holiday for everyone taking meetings from the kitchen table while wearing a business shirt and pajama bottoms.
Work from home, where your boss thinks you're engaged, but your dog knows you've been eating shredded cheese over the sink.
It is also National Nylon Stocking Day, Bike to Work Day, Dinosaur Day, International Kangaroo Care Awareness Day. Okay, Australia, that's for you. It's Break the Glass Ceiling Day, and it is also Asphalt Day, Bike to School Day, Straw Hat Day, and Shades Day. There you go. Checking out the birthday list, internet personality and musician Chase Hudson turns 24. That's right, young enough to make the rest of us feel like we aged 3 years just trying to understand TikTok. Singer-songwriter Birdy turns 30. I didn't plan that. She got famous young with that haunting voice, the kind of voice that makes a breakup song sound like it happened in a candlelit castle. Turning 44, it's actress Alexandra Breckenridge. From This Is Us to Virgin River, she has mastered the art of looking emotionally prepared while every script throws life problems at her like confetti. Actress Jamie-Lynn Sigler turns 45, best known as mezzo-soprano, which means she spent years on TV surrounded by mob drama and still somehow survived family dinner. David Krumholtz turns 48. From the Santa Claus to Numbers and beyond, he's had the kind of career where people go, wait, I know that guy. And yes, they do. NFL Hall of Fame linebacker Ray Lewis turns 51. He played defense like the other team owed him money and forgot to answer his texts. NFL legend Emmitt Smith turns 57, the NFL's all-time rushing king. The man ran so much his knees probably have their own memoir called We Tried to Warn Him. Sportscaster and radio host Dan Patrick turns 70. He's been talking sports for decades, proving that if you can explain football clearly before noon, you deserve hazard pay in a better chair. Baseball Hall of Famer George Brett turns 73. Kansas City Royals legend, over 3,000 hits, and one of the few men who could make pine tar sound like a courtroom drama. And actor and writer Bronx legend Chazz Palminteri turns 74 years young today. A Bronx Tale, The Usual Suspects, Bullets Over Broadway. This man walks into a scene and the room immediately starts paying protection money. And, singer and guitarist known for If I Had a Hammer. Trini Lopez, born this day in 1937, would have been 89. He had that upbeat 60s sound where every song felt like it arrived wearing a nice shirt and clapping on beat. Former Secretary of State Madeleine Albright would have been 89 today. Also born this day, actor James Mason, born in 1909. He played Captain Nemo in Disney's 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. And one more here, L. Frank Baum, born in 1856, would have been 170. The author of The Wonderful Wizard of Oz. He gave us Dorothy, the Scarecrow, the Tin Man, the Cowardly Lion, and proof that one bed tornado can turn into a whole franchise. And that's your birthday list. And today we remember Fred Willard, Emily Dickinson, and June Carter Cash, all passed away on this day somewhere in the past.
It happened on this day as if you cared.
All right, let's look at this day in history. In 1602, Cape Cod got its name. On May 15, 1602, English explorer Bartholomew Gosnold reportedly named Cape Cod after catching a bunch of codfish there. Very creative. Hey, what do you think we should call this place full of cod? Cape Cod. Boom! Branding department closed early. On this day in 1718, James Puckle patented an early rapid-fire gun called the Puckle gun. Basically, humanity looked at regular weapons and said, can we make this more complicated and alarming? History said, yes, let's do this. On May 15, 1756, Britain declared war on France, helping kick off the 7 Years' War. Nothing says international problem-solving like two major powers are arguing so hard the whole planet had to get involved. On May 15, 1800, President John Adams orders the federal government to pack up and leave Philadelphia and set up shop in the nation's new capital in Washington, D.C. After Congress adjourned its last monthly meeting in Philadelphia on May 15th, Adams told his cabinet to make sure Congress and all federal offices were up and running smoothly in their new headquarters by June 15th. Philadelphia officially ceased to serve as the nation's capital as of June 11th, 1800. At the time, there were only about 125 federal employees. Official documents and archives were transferred from Philadelphia to the new capital by ship over inland waterways. President and Mrs. Adams did not move into the unfinished presidential mansion until November of that year. In 1862, President Lincoln signs the bill creating the Department of Agriculture. So if you've ever wondered who officially cares about corn, cows, crops, and whether your cereal has enough paperwork, there you go. On May 15, 1911, the U.S. Supreme Court ruled that Standard Oil had to be broken up under antitrust laws. That's when the government looked at John D. Rockefeller's oil empire and said, nice monopoly. Be a shame if it became 34 smaller problems. In 1928, before Steamboat Willie, Mickey Mouse debuts in a test screening of Plane Crazy. 6-minute silent short animation shows Mickey piloting a plane with Minnie, who escapes his advances by parachuting away using her bloomers. Mickey's like, "Get away from me, you creep!" In 1940, Richard and Maurice McDonald opened their first restaurant in San Bernardino, California. It started as a barbecue spot before becoming the fast food giant we know today. So yes, even McDonald's had an awkward first draft. In 1942, gasoline rationing begins in 17 eastern states as an attempt to help the American war effort during World War II. By the end of the year, President Franklin D. Roosevelt had ensured that mandatory gasoline rationing was in effect in all 48 states. In 1948, the British mandate over Palestine officially ended, and neighboring Arab states attacked the newly declared State of Israel. Serious, complicated, world-changing history, and the kind where one date carries generations of consequences. In 1958, the Soviet Union launched Sputnik 3, continuing the space race. This was back when countries flexed by launching metal spheres into orbit and making everybody on Earth say, "Well, now I feel behind." On May 15, 1988, the Soviet Union began withdrawing troops from Afghanistan after years of war. That's the historical version of a country saying, "We may have made this worse, and now the exit is also complicated." In 1991, Edith Cresson became the first woman to serve as Prime Minister of France. Big milestone, even if the job lasted less than a year. She still kicked the door open in French politics. On May 15, 2008, the California Supreme Court ruled that the state's ban on same-sex marriage was unconstitutional. A major civil rights moment and one of those legal chapters where history, politics, and wedding planners all ended up in the same room. In 2009, after decades of environmental damage and legal wrangling, General Electric finally begins its government-mandated efforts to clean up the Hudson River. One of America's largest and most prestigious corporations, GE had dumped harmful chemicals into the river for years and spent a fortune trying to avoid the cleanup. And there you go, that's this day in history. All right, let's look at this day in music. On May 15th, 1957, Elvis reportedly had to go to a Los Angeles hospital after inhaling a cap from one of his teeth. That's right, the king of rock and roll survived screaming fans, TV censors, and hip-shaking controversy, only to be attacked by his own dental work. In 1965, Bob Dylan scored his first U.S. Top 40 hit with Subterranean Homesick Blues, which peaked at number 39 on the Billboard Hot 100. That song came in fast, weird, and wordy, and cool. Basically, Dylan invented lyrical speed walking while holding cue cards and confusing everybody's parents. On this day in 1965, the Byrds hit the Billboard chart for the first time with their version of Bob Dylan's Mr. Tambourine Man. The record later went to number 1 and helped define folk rock, which is what happens when a coffeehouse poet meets a garage band and everybody suddenly owns sunglasses. On May 15th, 1971, Crosby, Stills, Nash & Young were on the top of the Billboard Pop chart with their live album 4-Way Street. 4 guys, endless harmonies, and enough backstage tension to power a small emotional utility company. In 1976, the Rolling Stones went to number 1 on the U.S. albums charts with Black and Blue, the group's 6th U.S. number 1 album. The band's first studio album, released with Ronnie Wood as the replacement for Mick Taylor, featured the hit Fool to Cry. The Moody Blues released Long Distance Voyager on May 15, 1981. That title sounds like a prog rock album and a complaint from somebody stuck in airport security. Either way, the Moody Blues kept floating through space, feelings, and synthesizers like they had a lifetime pass to the Cosmic Lounge. In 1982, Paul McCartney and Stevie Wonder's Ebony and Ivory began a 7-week run at number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100. It was McCartney's biggest post-Beatles hit, a song so wholesome it sounds like it was approved by a committee of piano teachers with world peace brochures. Also on May 15, 1982, the band Asia hit number 1 on the album charts with their self-titled debut. The album cover looked like a dragon attended art school, and the music sounded like every arena in America just plugged in a fog machine. The Van Hansen formed in 1992. We'd like to erase that from history. Just kidding, Hansen. No, I'm not. In 1993, Aerosmith's Get a Grip reached number 1 on the Billboard 200. Steven Tyler basically walked into the 90s with scarves, screams, and enough music video drama to make Alicia Silverstone a household name. Also in 1993, Janet Jackson started an 8-week run at number 1 on the U.S. singles charts with That's the Way Love Goes, her 6th U.S. number 1, a number 2 hit in the U.K. All right, I think that's it for music. As for movie and TV releases, Chariots of Fire released on this day in 1981. Lethal Weapon 3 released in 1992. The Matrix Reloaded in 2003. Mad Max Fury Road and Pitch Perfect released this day in 2015. Hannah Harper is the winner of American Idol's 24th season.
She'll go down in the American Idol Hall of Fame along with the other winner, what's her name, and the other guy, the other guy.
LinkedIn just celebrated its 23rd anniversary.
Which is weird because on LinkedIn it says it has 30 years of experience.
May is National Burger Month.
David Hasselhoff celebrated by eating at one of his favorite places, the floor.
Country singing legend and actor Randy Travis is now 67. Not going to say he's old, but these days when he sings, on the other hand,
He's referring to his Med Alert bracelet.
earlier this week, May 12th, was the birth anniversary of Edward Lear, the famous English poet, author, and artist, and it was National Limerick Day.
It's celebrated all over the world, especially by young men from Nantucket.
All right, did anyone celebrate on May 13th, World Cocktail Day?
Yeah, I got mixed feelings about that.
President Trump is confronting China about exporting goods to the U.S. that are made in China factories by child labor. Yeah, I want to buy goods made in American factories by American children.
The best way to get American kids off their phones is to have them make the phones. Just saying.
Well, that cruise ship was quarantined off the tip of South America after 3 passengers died from the hantavirus. It's tied to mice droppings.
To keep their guests safe, all of the Disney cruise lines have made Mickey Mouse walk the plank.
MacArthur Park in L.A. was raided by DEA agents who cleared the park of hundreds of meth addicts. I'll say this for the meth heads, they don't wake up and say, gee, I'm broke, so I can't get high today.
No, they get up and make it happen, so don't you get out-hustled by a meth head today.
A White House security bill includes taxpayer funding for the ballroom that Donald Trump has begun constructing. I don't want to say it's too opulent, but the cost of the ballroom has skyrocketed to $1 billion.
It's made out of gas and sirloin.
Well, when The Late Show with Stephen Colbert airs its final episode on CBS on May 21st, Jimmy Kimmel Live will be dark. Kimmel has confirmed that his ABC show will not produce a new episode for that night out of deference to Colbert's send-off. It's a gesture with precedent. Kimmel made the same call in 2015 when David Letterman signed off from The Late Show, opting not to compete against the final broadcast of one of his comedy heroes. Martin Short has spoken out following the death of his daughter Catherine in February. He told CBS Sunday Morning that it's been a nightmare for the family, but mental health and cancer, like my wife's, are both diseases, and sometimes with diseases, they are terminal. Short said his daughter fought for a long time with extreme mental health, borderline personality disorder, and other things, and did the best she could until she couldn't. Short is featured on a new Netflix documentary, Marty, Life is Short, which premieres this week. Dave Coulier is responding to fans who have pointed out his changing appearance following a battle with both cancer and lymphoma. In an Instagram video, the 66-year-old told fans that he has lost 45 pounds because he's been unable to eat solid food for months, a result of side effects of extensive radiation that I went through for carcinoma in my throat. Coulier says that it has affected his ability to speak, as some fans pointed out. The good news, well, he says his prognosis looks good for both the cancer in his throat and the lymphoma. The NHL's Stanley Cup is back for a 3rd consecutive year to celebrate the 2026 Stanley Cup playoffs. The Rescue Dog competition is set to premiere on June 8th on True TV and simulcast on HBO Max at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time. During the 90-minute special, a lineup of adoptable pups will face off in a friendly competition showcasing their canine skills and puck handling on a miniature rink. Celebrity dog lovers and advocates will make appearances, including SNL's Kenan Thompson, legendary broadcaster Doc Emmerich, and NHL players Devin Cooley, Seth Jarvis, and Will Smith. Shakira remains the queen of World Cup music. She's been tapped once again for the official 2026 FIFA World Cup song. Die Die with Nigerian star Burna Boy is out now. She shared a 1-minute teaser recently in an Instagram video where she is shown wearing a royal blue miniskirt and a bright yellow top while dancing and holding a soccer ball. Definitely got to check that one out. Dua Lipa is suing Samsung because she says the company used her image on TV packaging without her permission. Lipa is seeking at least $15 million in damages and alleges Samsung continued using the image despite a cease and desist demand from her reps. Billie Eilish, her new concert film Hit Me Hard and Soft, The Tour, live in 3D, directed by James Cameron, and Eilish is new in theaters, but is expected to be available to stream at home early this summer. Filmed in 2025 in Manchester, England, it earned $7.5 million domestically and $12.6 million internationally in its first weekend of theatrical release. The Red Hot Chili Peppers have sold their recorded music catalog to Warner Music Group in a deal worth more than $300 million. 5 years after the group sold its publishing rights for $150 million, they've unloaded their recorded output, 13 studio albums in total, in a deal that was completed last Friday. Oasis, a documentary about last year's reunion tour, is coming to theaters and Disney Plus in late summer. The untitled film was directed by Dylan Southern and Will Lovelace and produced by Peaky Blinders creator Stephen Knight. The documentary includes rehearsal, backstage, and onstage access, as well as the first joint interview with Noel and Liam in over 25 years. Kiss's Gene Simmons says they're back in the studio in a video released by Sienna Hernandez, host of the Kiss-themed online show Kiss by Sienna. Simmons says, "We just recorded a new song that Paul wrote. I can't tell you more about it, and that'll be coming out at some point." He also revealed he's working on a documentary about the band's End of the Road tour, which ran from 2019 to 2023. Luke Combs knows how to make an entrance. When it came time to walk on stage for a show at the Oklahoma Memorial Stadium in Norman, Oklahoma, he tapped into the rich country music history of the Sooner State and paid tribute to the late Toby Keith. Combs rocked a hat with Toby written on the front, while should have been a cowboy blasted from the speakers. A new study found that birds tend to fly away sooner when approached by women than by men. Researchers sent similarly dressed men and women to walk towards birds of 37 different species and discovered that men could usually get about a meter closer before the birds took off. Scientists controlled factors like height, clothing, and hair, but still the birds were more fearful of women. The researchers believe birds may be detecting subtle cues that humans barely notice, such as movement patterns, scent, or body shape. They theorize that in prehistoric times, men probably hunted big game and women hunted smaller prey, such as birds, so there could be an evolutionary reason for birds' avoidance of females. Experts say the findings highlight how sensitive urban birds are to their surroundings. Yeah, birds out there profiling humans better than airport security. Well, first they gave us K-pop, and now this. A new beauty trend is taking off in South Korea. Elf ears. Clinics are seeing growing demand of cosmetic procedures and special tape designed to make ears stick out more prominently, creating the illusion of a smaller, slimmer face, a highly prized look in East Asia. Some patients are getting quick filler injections costing about $70, while others use inexpensive ear tape popularized online by K-pop stars and influencers. Searches for ear filler have surged, and some surgeons say they now perform dozens of elf ear procedures a day. The trend reflects South Korea's ever-evolving beauty industry, where cosmetic clinics constantly search for the next viral enhancement after years of focus on jawlines, noses, and eyes. Yeah, Star Wars fans are calling it Yoda maxing.
Zack Da Wack, here is.
Well, apparently we're obsessed these days with being obsessed with stuff. A new survey found that 64% of us feel that people will obsess over almost anything, from calorie counting and protein-packed foods to GLP-1 drugs and health tracking apps. Food obsessions mentioned include everything from air frying, zero-sugar drinks, and snack foods advertising themselves as healthy. Protein maxing, fiber maxing, and analyzing health tech data were also trends that people have noticed. Many respondents to the poll of 2,000 adults in the U.S. said they're tired of constantly being told what they should and shouldn't eat, while 68% believe people would be happier if they just relaxed more about food. A study found that many people would rather just enjoy snacks, queso, and margaritas with friends than chase the latest wellness trend. Some even compared eating their favorite foods guilt-free to life's greatest pleasures, including relaxing on a beach, finishing a movie marathon, and sex. Calories, macros, fiber, protein. So the real wellness trend is ignoring health influencers. Score. Alrighty, user recently asked what's a luxury that actually feels worth the money once you experience it. Here are some of the best answers. Expensive bedding, mattress, pillows, and sheets. Yes, you will sleep better, or just save some money and get some gummies. Paying for moving services and movers. It's worth it. Totally. A garage for my car. Yes, definitely. Noise-canceling headphones. Yes, the first time the world turns off, you realize how much mental energy constant background noise was stealing from you. Heated driver's seat and steering wheel. A house cleaner saves time, energy, and a hassle for partners by clarifying who is doing that. They also do a better job. And last on the list here, fast passes at theme parks. Yes, definitely worth it. What's yours, huh? I recently splurged on indoor plumbing. Alright, here's the top 10 riffs played at Guitar Center stores, according to Gabe Del Porto, CEO of the largest musical instrument retailer in the U.S. Number 10, Deep Purple's Smoke on the Water. Number 9, Nirvana, Come As You Are. Number 8, Ozzy Osbourne, Crazy Train. Number 7, Tool, Schism. Number 6, Metallica, Enter Sandman. Number 5, John Mayer, Slow Dancing in a Burning Room. Number 4, Nirvana, Smells Like Teen Spirit. Number 3, The White Stripes, Seven Nation Army. Number 2, Guns N' Roses, Sweet Child of Mine. And number 1, Metallica, Master of Puppets. Customers must be taking the Wayne's World No Stairway sign seriously. All right, here's a DaWack. Did you know? According to psychology, today, crying is an act of maintenance, not a sign of collapse. By letting those tears fall, you are allowing your body to perform the essential work of numbing pain, regulating your nervous system, and restoring a healthy emotional balance. Yeah, crying. The human version of restarting your router. All right, here's today's Whack Facts. The first product, called an iPhone, was a web-enabled desk phone with a video screen sold by a company called InfoGear in 1998. It flopped. The energy expended by players during a pro tennis match could power a smartphone for years. 3% of people suffer from anosmia, the inability to smell. Only 23 countries still have operational telegram service. The U.S. is among them. Overly tight ponytails and man buns can cause bald spots. And the longest tapeworm ever pulled out of a human body was 59 feet. That comes to you from the Bathroom Readers Institute, the fact site.
Sweet.
All right, well, it's National Etiquette Week, so here's some etiquette tips. When drinking directly out of a wine bottle, always hold it so your fingers cover the label. Your dinner table centerpiece should never be anything prepared by a taxidermist. While ears need to be cleaned regularly, this is a job that should only be done using one's own truck keys. Livestock is usually a poor choice as a wedding gift. Never take a beer to a job interview. Yeah, I did that once. That wasn't too smart.
This is no time for jokes.
If you have to vacuum the bed, it's time to change the sheets. And even if you're certain that you are included in the will, it's considered tacky to drive a U-Haul to the funeral home. There you go. Here, I got one more list here. Here's ways to make NHL playoffs more exciting for non-hockey fans. Only one guy named Stanley gets to wear a cup. The new snack bar item, players missing teeth dipped in fudge. Make players dress up as their favorite Disney character. Goalie gloves should be full of angry hornets. Sharpen players' sticks to a point. And make the Zamboni clean the ice during the third period. And take naked penalty shots. Yes, that would be funny. All right, there you go. That's your list.
Whether you're rich or parking cars, your fate is written in the stars. You don't want to look like a dope, so please listen close for your horoscope.
It's now time to look at the world-famous, highly outrageous, never-ever contagious DaWack in the Morning Horrible Scopes. If today is your birthday, you are a Taurus. You're craving comfort today. Taurus, soft pants, snacks, and avoiding people who just want to pick your brain. Your lucky number is whatever is left in the DoorDash account.
Crikey.
Gemini, your personality has more tabs open than your browser, and none of them are responding. Today, try finishing one thought before starting a podcast, a business, and a conspiracy theory about pigeons.
Excuse me, I'd like to speak to whoever's in charge, please.
Cancer Moonchild, your emotions are running the show today, and they brought snacks. You may cry over a commercial, a song, or a sandwich cut the wrong way. Hydrate. Tears count, but barely.
I'm not one who cries.
Leo, you walk into every room like there should be entrance music. Today, people will notice you, mostly because you'll be explaining loudly how you don't need attention. Sure, Simba, sure.
Hello? Hello? Hello?
Virgo, today you'll organize something that didn't ask to be organized. A drawer, a spreadsheet, possibly another adult's life. The stars say relax. You say relax needs a checklist.
Relax. It's much worse than you think.
Libra, you'll spend 45 minutes today deciding what to eat, then order the same thing you always get. Romance is possible today, especially with someone who also can't make a decision without a committee.
I only make decisions when my stomach is full or my balls are empty.
Scorpio, your mysterious energy is strong today. People think you're deep, but really you're just deciding whether to answer a text from 3 days ago. Spoiler alert, you won't.
Leave the gun. Take the cannoli.
Sagittarius, you're ready for adventure. Sagittarius, which means a road trip or just going to a different grocery store and acting like you discovered Europe. Your lucky phrase, what could possibly go wrong?
Smells like belly button.
Capricorn, you're in work mode today, even during fun. Someone says party and you ask for an agenda. Try loosening up before your calendar files a restraining order.
That dog's as subtle as a hand grenade in a barrel of oatmeal.
Aquarius, your ideas are wild today. Some are brilliant, some sound like they come from a raccoon with Wi-Fi. Write them down anyway. One of them might make money. The raccoon one probably won't.
That's such a crock of shit.
Pisces, today you're dreamy, sensitive, and one minor inconvenience from staring out a window like you're in a music video. Avoid group chats, strong opinions, and people who say, quick favor.
This is a sophisticated club for elite villains, not a riff-raffararium.
And finally, Aries. Today, your confidence is so high, you'll correct someone's GPS. Slow down, Captain Left Turn. The universe says you're right, but your tone is why nobody invited you to brunch.
What has that got to do with it?
Those are your horrible scopes for Friday, May 15th, 2026. Remember, the stars may guide you, but your browser history tells the real story. This has been DaWack in the Morning, where the future is cloudy, the coffee is questionable, and Mercury is probably doing something illegal. And
don't leave home without him.
Well, there you go. That's the show. You've been listening to the Always First, Never Last podcast with me, your doomsday host, the incredible, edible Mr. Zack Wackalina.
That was just a freak show.
Please connect with me at ZackDawack.com. That's ZackDawack.com. Or you can call me at 984-DaWack1. That's 984-329-2251. Like the show, follow us, or subscribe, and please share this show with your friends.
Do it right now!
Thank you to all the awesome wackos, weirdos, reverts, preverts, dingbats, and jelloheads anonymous for listening. It means a lot.
Is that so?
All right, I'm out of here like Vladimir until next time, and there will be a next time. Don't forget me, I won't forget you. I am Zack Da Wack, saying if I'm lying, I'm dying. Grits ain't groceries, eggs ain't poultry, and Mona Lisa was a man.
No way!
Unless I'm sicker than a dog, I will be back Monday. We'll see you then. Same whack time, same whack channel. Whack out.
Next time you come on my court, you better wear a bra, okay?
Bye, buckaroos.
Made in Georgia.
Copyright 2026.
Coming to the Food Network, Guy Fieri checks out restaurants where the chefs have a drug-dealing side hustle. It's diners, drive-ins, and dealers.
Here I am at Lenny's Deli, where he's serving up a pastrami on rye. Let's have a taste. Oh, wow. Lenny, what's your secret?
I slow roast the pastrami and I put cocaine in the bread.
You what? Oh, man. My heart is racing. The sandwich is good, but my heart is racing, and I feel like I'm covered in ants.
Yep, that'll happen. You want to buy some?
Watch as Guy Fieri tries all sorts of dishes that were prepared by a chef who moonlights as a drug dealer.
And for dessert, I'm having these homemade brownies. These are like far out, man.
Yep, they're weed brownies.
It's diners, drive-ins, and dealers, only on the Food Network.
ZackDaWack.com